Did you know that German Americans make up the largest ethnic group in the United States? According to the U.S. Census Bureau, approximately 44 to 46 million Americans claim German ancestry, making them the largest self-reported ethnic group in the country. This represents about 13 to 14% of the total U.S. population. The states with the highest percentages of German Americans include Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota.
German immigrants played a massive role in shaping American society, culture, and industry. In 1683, the first significant group of German immigrants, led by Francis Daniel Pastorius, founded Germantown, Pennsylvania. This marked the beginning of a strong German presence in the region. From the 17th century to the early 20th century, they contributed to education, business, agriculture, and even American traditions that we still celebrate today. Millions of German immigrants have settled in America. Today, their descendants form a significant portion of the U.S. population. Many early German immigrants were fleeing religious oppression in the Holy Roman Empire. Groups like the Mennonites, Amish, and Moravians sought religious freedom in America. Wars, high taxes, and feudal restrictions in Germany led many to seek a better life in the colonies. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648, and other conflicts created instability in German-speaking regions, prompting emigration. William Penn actively recruited German settlers to Pennsylvania, advertising religious tolerance and land ownership. In the 17th century, most German immigrants settled in Pennsylvania, but small groups also lived in other American colonies. The first major German settlement was Germantown, founded in 1683 near Philadelphia by Mennonites and Quakers seeking religious freedom. German immigrants played a massive role in shaping American society, culture, and industry. In 1683, the first significant group of German immigrants, led by Francis Daniel Pastorius, founded Germantown, Pennsylvania. This marked the beginning of a strong German presence in the region. From the 17th century to the early 20th century, they contributed to education, business, agriculture, and even American traditions that we still celebrate today. Millions of German immigrants have settled in America. Today, their descendants form a significant portion of the U.S. population. Many early German immigrants were fleeing religious oppression in the Holy Roman Empire. Groups like the Mennonites, Amish, and Moravians sought religious freedom in America. Wars, high taxes, and feudal restrictions in Germany led many to seek a better life in the colonies. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648, and other conflicts created instability in German-speaking regions, prompting emigration. William Penn actively recruited German settlers to Pennsylvania, advertising religious tolerance and land ownership. In the 17th century, most German immigrants settled in Pennsylvania, but small groups also lived in other American colonies. The first major German settlement was Germantown, founded in 1683 near Philadelphia by Mennonites and Quakers seeking religious freedom.
By the early 1700s, large numbers of Lutherans, Moravians, and Amish settled in Pennsylvania, forming what became known as the Pennsylvania Dutch, Deutsch community. Pennsylvania remained the largest center of German immigration throughout the colonial period. Some German immigrants, especially Palatines, from the Rhineland region, settled in the Hudson River Valley. They were brought by the British to work on farms and produce naval stores, tar and pitch for ships. Many later moved to Pennsylvania. Germans settled in the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, where they became farmers and tradesmen. Many were Lutheran or Reformed Protestants, contributing to the region's diverse religious landscape. German settlers, including Moravians from Pennsylvania, moved to North Carolina, Wachovia settlement, now Winston-Salem. In South Carolina, Germans settled in Orangeburg and other rural areas, often working as farmers. In 1734, German-speaking Salzburgers, Austrian Protestants, settled in Ebenezer, Georgia, after being expelled from Catholic-controlled Austria. They became known for their successful agriculture and skilled craftsmanship.
By the late 18th century, Germans were a major ethnic group in Pennsylvania, New York, and Virginia, influencing American culture, religion, and farming practices. Germans became known for their expertise in blacksmithing, carpentry, and brewing. German religious groups, such as the Moravians in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and the Amish in Lancaster County, established self-sustaining communities. Germans emphasized literacy and established some of the first schools in the colonies, including the first bilingual school system. German immigrants often struggled to integrate into English-speaking society, though many maintained their language and traditions. Some English settlers viewed Germans with suspicion, fearing their growing numbers and cultural differences. Many Germans faced difficulties during the French and Indian War and later during the American Revolution, as they were often caught between British and colonial loyalties. During the 19th century, approximately 5 million Germans migrated to the United States, making them one of the largest immigrant groups of that era.
During World War I, 1914 to 1918, anti-German sentiment in the United States surged, fueled by propaganda, wartime nationalism, and suspicions about German Americans' loyalty. This led to widespread discrimination, suppression of German culture, and even acts of violence. When the U.S. declared war on Germany in April 1917, German Americans faced suspicion and hostility. Newspapers and posters portrayed Germany as a brutal enemy, linking all things German with militarism and aggression. Cases like the 1915 Black Tom explosion, suspected German sabotage, heightened fears of German spies within the U.S. President Woodrow Wilson and other leaders promoted complete assimilation, discouraging ethnic identities. German Americans were harassed, attacked, and sometimes lynched. In 1918, Robert Prager, a German-born coal miner, was lynched in Illinois by an anti-German mob. Many German-owned businesses were vandalized or boycotted. German was banned in schools in many states. German-language newspapers and churches faced pressure to switch to English. People with German-sounding names were pressured to change them. For example, Schmidt to Smith.
The Espionage Act, 1917, and Sedition Act, 1918, criminalized anti-war speech, often targeting German Americans. German organizations were forced to disband, and German books were removed from libraries. German immigrants brought a wide range of Christian traditions, which helped diversify American religious life. The largest group of German immigrants was Lutheran, and they established some of the earliest Lutheran congregations in the U.S.
Many German immigrants, especially those from southern Germany, were Roman Catholic. They built Catholic churches, schools, and seminaries, particularly in the Midwest and cities like Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Cincinnati. German Catholics played a key role in establishing parochial school systems in the U.S. The Amish and Mennonites emphasized simple living, pacifism, and community-oriented religious life, which still thrives today. Hutterites, a lesser-known Anabaptist group, settled in the Midwest and Canada, maintaining communal living traditions. The Moravians established some of the earliest planned religious communities, such as Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They were known for their missionary work among Native Americans and African Americans. Many German immigrants were members of the German Reformed Church, which later merged into the United Church of Christ. Their influence helped shape American Protestant theology and church organization.
German Americans historically spoke a variety of German dialects, brought from different regions of Germany. Over time, these dialects blended with English and evolved into unique forms of German American speech. Many German words entered American English, especially in food, pretzel, bratwurst, farming, kindergarten, sauerkraut, and everyday speech, Gesundheit, Lager. Many German Americans shifted to English. Today, efforts exist to preserve dialects like Pennsylvania Dutch and Texas German, but the number of fluent speakers is dwindling. Today, Lutheranism remains one of the largest Protestant denominations in the U.S., largely due to German immigration. Anabaptist communities continue to practice their faith in traditional ways, particularly in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. German religious contributions laid the foundation for many aspects of American religious diversity, education, and worship traditions. German Americans have played a significant role in shaping U.S. politics, from the early years of the Republic to the present day.
19th century political movements. The 48ers, German immigrants who fled political upheaval in 1848, were strong advocates for democracy, abolitionism, and workers' rights. Many German Protestants in the Midwest supported the Republican Party in the late 19th century, particularly on issues of abolition and temperance. Several U.S. presidents have had German ancestry, influencing their political views and policies. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander in World War II, 34th U.S. President, his German roots influenced his disciplined, strategic leadership style.
Herbert Hoover, 31st U.S. President, a descendant of German Mennonites, he focused on efficiency and humanitarian aid. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th U.S. President, had partial German ancestry and emphasized military strength and conservation. Donald Trump, 45th U.S. President, his grandfather, Friedrich Trump, was a German immigrant from Bavaria. Other influential German-American politicians include Henry Kissinger, former Secretary of State, John Boehner, former Speaker of the House, and current and past state governors and senators. Americans have played a huge role in shaping the United States, from their contributions to industry, culture, and politics to their influence on food, music, and traditions. Their legacy continues to be felt across the country today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history content. Let us know in the comments which part of German American history you found most interesting. See you in the next one.